warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to today's English lesson with me Miss Bilkis. Have you ever read a poem and felt like you could actually see, hear, or even smell something to describe it? Well, today we're going to discuss how that happens. We'll be exploring the power of imagery in poetry. So, our learning objective today is to understand what imagery is in poetry and how it creates atmosphere and meaning in a poem. Writers use descriptive words to stimulate our sense, sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. With imagery, poetry becomes more vivid and easier for us to imagine. Imagery refers to the use of vivid and descriptive language in writing or speech to create mental pictures or appeal to the sense of the reader or listener. It helps to make ideas more tangible and engaging by evoking visual, auditory, tactile, olfactory, or gustatory experiences. There are several types of imagery. The first is visual imagery, appeals to the sense of sight. For example, the golden sunset behind the mountains casting long shadows. The second is auditory imagery, appeals to the sense of hearing. For example, the leaves rustle as the wind whispers through the trees. The third, tactile imagery, appeals to the sense of touch. For example, the rough bark of the tree scraped against her skin. The fourth is olfactory imagery, appeals to the sense of smell. For example, the aroma of fresh baked bread filled the air. And the last is gustatory imagery, appeals to the sense of taste. For example, the tangy sweetness of the lemonade refreshed her. Okay, for the first, I will give you an example of a short poem and imagery analysis. The title is I Wandered Lonely as a Goat. It's like the picture. Let's look at an example of a poem by William Wordsworth, I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over valleys and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a house of golden daffodils beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretch in never-ending line along the margin of by. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sparkly dance. The waves beside them dance, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet clothed not but be gay in such a jocund. Notice the line, I wandered lonely as a cloud. What do you imagine? Perhaps a cloud moving slowly across the sky. This is an example of visual imagery. Then, there's the line, a house of golden daffodils beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. We can see golden yellow daffodils moving in the wind. This imagery is very powerful, isn't it? Now we're going to work in a group. I will divide you into 3 groups. Each group will analyze a different poem. Group 1, A Bird Came Down the Walk by Emily Dickinson. Group 2, Ode to the West Wind by Percy Bysshe Shelley. And Group 3, Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. Use the worksheets I've given you. The guiding questions inside will help you analyze the types of imagery, how the imagery creates atmosphere and meaning, and whether the imagery is relevant to your experiences. Okay, students, are you finished for the task? Okay, now we will discuss about your result. I will read one of the poem. For example, A Bird Came Down the Walk by Group 1, highlighting example of visual and auditory imagery. Example, he beat an angelworm in halves and ate the value raw. Visual and tactile. So, thank you for the excellent presentation. You have successfully identified various types of imagery in the poems and how they enrich the meaning of the poems. And now, let's summarize what are the types of imagery we have learned today. So, yes, there are visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory or smell, and gustatory or taste imagery. So students, why is imagery important in poetry? Exactly, imagery makes poetry more vivid, memorable, and touches our feeling. As a follow-up assignment, try to find another poem and analyze the imagery used. Thank you for your active participation today. See you in the next lesson.